So you could take a seat. So Ms. Is it Solar? It appears that she's not here. I don't know whether you've had a chance to work this out with her or talk with her, or does it look like this initially involved the table, or what are your thoughts on all of this?
Well, sir, well, good morning, Your Honor, firstly.
Thank you. Good morning to you as well.
Yes, thank you. It does seem to involve a table, but I don't really quite know where to start. I'll try to be as brief as I can.
Yes, please, because chances are this will be dismissed without prejudice that she can refile given his non-appearance, but
yes, sir.
So you're not going to need to go into too much detail.
No, I won't, sir, but I'll just start with the regarding of the table and the phone call, if I may.
Sure.
I had a Christmas party for some volunteers at the center that I volunteer for. I met Ms. Solar in October and invited her to the party to meet some of the other women of our age. It was a wonderful party. Ms. Solar brought some macaroni and cheese, and she brought a table that she took out of her shed to the party that we could have to put up against our other table. After our guests left, Your Honor, Miss Solar and her adult daughter and I were there, and I had some lottery tickets, $30 worth of lottery tickets. Each of my guests at my own expense, each had gift spots that included lottery tickets. These specific lottery tickets were actually mine that I was going to open on Christmas morning. I don't have a family. My parents just recently passed away, and I was going to open those. The Solar's daughter scratched the tickets and actually wanted to keep the proceeds from those. And Miss Solar offered that table in exchange for the tickets. And I
all right,
just said that was fine.
So given her lack of appearance, this case will be, I'm granting, it's basically going to be dismissed without prejudice because she's not here. And then that'll be it, and you're free to go. If you want a copy of this, you can have it.
May I, sir? I don't have a email. Is there?
No,
do I have it now? Or?
Yeah, we can just make a copy of it right there and give it to you. You know, when it says without prejudice, it means if she chooses to refile, she can. But for today, this case is going away.
And Your Honor, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the courtroom, what I may ask, but
you can ask anything you like, but
right.
I can't promise you an answer.
Alrighty. Well, Your Honor,
make sure I check the right box.
Miss Solar has called around to the places where I have volunteered. I am fearful of her adult daughter and her incarcerated son. I have suspended the volunteer work at the centers where I volunteered until after Your Honor's court's decision today. But I am fearful, Your Honor, of Miss Solar. And
well, I mean, I'm going to stop you because if you're asking me what can I do or what should I do, I can't. Let me tell you, I can't. I can't really give you any advice on that. I can't do that. I can't appear to be taking one person's side over the other in something like this. And with regard to something I can do today, if you file a petition, if you think it's appropriate, then that'll be reviewed by a judge, but it's up to you as to what you want to do.
I'll just
I don't know, which is probably not a very satisfying answer to your question, but that's about as good as I can get today.
I'll just have to go with the wisdom of Your Honor's court.
Well, I've not really given you any wisdom other than that her petition is denied because she didn't show up.
All righty, sir. Thank you so very much.
Wait a minute, you've got a copy of it? Come on up. You can take that and then you're free to go.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Hi there.
Hi.
So we had a hearing here not too long ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago, and we got a lot into it, and there was some discussion on some of the evidence. Ms. Ward, if memory serves, you wanted a week or 2 weeks, and you got 2 weeks to respond And because it might have been some late notice on some stuff, so that was allowed. And here we are today. And so I guess I'll swear you both back in, and then I'll hear from if you want to add anything differently. But what I don't want is a repeat. I mean, I remember this. I've reviewed there's a number of videos in there. I reviewed all those before. And I did it again over the weekend here in anticipation for today. Ms. Ward, you filed some written statements. Some other people filed some stuff on your behalf. Ms. Thorne supplemented with some additional video. And so I guess we'll go from there. And then there's a witness for Ms. Ward, and then there's someone in support of Ms. Thorne. So did you get a chance to review the videos in in the file there?
Yes.
Okay. And so how many kids do you have? Do you just
Two.
two? And then I saw one of them looked like was I think was holding the table of contents and reading it out loud. And I think Ms. Thorne had submitted a video of that. Do you remember seeing that?
Oh yeah, I was sitting on my porch.
Okay, hang on just a second. So yes, yeah, I'll let you expand on that. And was that your child who was doing that?
Yeah, because Miss Thorne came to my door.
Okay, so hang on just a second. Just yes. How old is that child?
She's 10.
Okay. And so why was she doing that?
Because Miss Thorne came to my door, as she claimed she's so scared of me. She came to my door and posted that on my door. And my daughter came out and read it to me. I was sitting on my porch watching our laundry because Miss Thorne, I've caught her several times sabotaging our laundry. So I sit on my porch and I do laundry. So my daughter came out and was like, "Mom, this is what she's writing about us." And that, I mean, I don't feel like there's a crime in my daughter telling me what this lady posted on my door.
Okay. And then did you see those other videos where kids are calling her Karen? And there was one child who said is not your child, threw something, which appeared to me to be a rock, at her apartment. Did you see that?
Yeah, that wasn't my child.
Okay.
She
okay. Hang on just a second, ma'am. Just I'll give you a chance, but I'm just trying to figure out what's going on there in terms of what I can do or what I can't do, right?
Okay.
And so here's what it looks like to me. You know, we have a situation here, and I don't know how this started. I don't. But we have some kids who are, you know, and I think I hear what you're saying about your child who read you that thing, but, you know, that could have been handled in a better way, in not such a public way. If you go inside and say, look, this is what was posted, this is what's here. What are we going to do about it? Rather than have her say it out loud where it can be filmed from somebody else's apartment, because, you know, if Ms. Thorne can hear it, and, you know, a lot of other people can too. And so what we have here, and at some point, Ms. Thorne started videoing kids misbehaving. And what's something, you know, just let me finish, ma'am. And then that kind of created a cycle, or as some people refer to it as a vicious circle. When Ms. Thorne started videotaping the kids, that bothered the kids. And rather than putting an end to it, that actually made it worse. And so the kids were acting worse. And again, there's several kids there. Not all of them are yours there, Ms. Ward. And so then you have people calling her Karen, throwing stuff on. And so that's going to make them videotape them more, her videotape them more, which is going to make those kids become more and more confrontational and
aggressive.
Yeah, which is not great. And so but then the question becomes, is, and Ms. Thorne, I'll come back to you, is, can I do anything about that? Because if I enter an order against Ms. Ward, you know, there's still a bunch of kids out there who are going to, so I don't know. And then again, Ms. Ward, how long have you lived there?
I lived there for 4 years now, and like I said before,
Okay, so then I'm going to ask you, just going to say, how long, Ms. Thorne, how long have you lived? Actually, could you raise your right hand, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
So how long have you lived there?
September 19th of this year, it'll be 5 years.
I see. So it seems like you've lived next to each other or close to each other for a while. 4 years, we've both been there for at least 4 years. I mean, again, I'm going to ask Ms. Thorne, again, how did we get here? Why are we here? We're two neighbors who have to come in court. One of them's asking for an order against the other to leave them alone. I mean, it seems like, I mean, I can't believe this has gone on for 4 years, or has it?
it has.
Okay, so I'm asking her there, Ms. Ward.
Excuse me, sorry about that. It actually has not been going on for 4 years. I'd say it's probably about 2 years. The situation has gotten progressively worse, but it started when I called the police because her daughter and her daughter's friends were blocking me and my grandson and my daughter from going to the garbage can. So I called the police, and then it just started from that. Now, why it's come to this point is because I just have gotten fed up with it. It's gotten worse and worse. And yes, I understand some of the behaviors are the kids, but also when Miss Ward is stating that she was on the porch watching her daughter read those things and harass me. Also, she states in here that she had her boyfriend come to my porch and drop off the papers that I had given her. And to me, that's a direct violation of the anti-harassment order. And so the kids are learning their behavior from this. From the way, I mean, when she's sitting on her porch yelling and screaming, they're learning these behaviors are okay. And I just want it to stop. And even so much as it hasn't stopped. And I don't know what to do other than to continue with asking for anti-harassment.
Okay. So Ms. Ward, I'll hear from you on your perspective on all of this. How did we get here? What's your perspective on how we got here? I just heard from Ms. Thorne.
Well, like I said, the first day, because she's lying, the first day we moved here.
Just tell me from your perspective, ma'am. I don't want to comment on other people. I just want you to know, I want to know from your perspective how we got here.
We got here because all she does is video record me and my kids. We come home, we come in the house, she's outside. I've actually stopped sitting on my porch because of her. Yeah, my boyfriend did drop the papers back off on her door because ever since we had court 2 weeks ago, put that on mute. Ever since we had court 2 weeks ago, she's dropped about 3 packages off at my door. If she's so scared of me, as she claims, why is she dropping packages at my door?
Yeah, I get that. But you're saying this all started because of the videotaping.
She started videotaping from the first day we moved in. She called the police the first day we moved in saying that we were moving in too loud. Who does that? She called the police so many times that the police actually stopped coming. And now the police are starting to come because she has this protection order on me. So the police have been called about 4 times since the last time we talked.
Ms. Ward, Ms. Thorne, excuse me.
Yes.
What's your response to that in terms of the police calling and calling because she moved in too loud, or what's that
Again,
about?
Your Honor, I specifically remember that I was not here the weekend she moved in. Again, it was the same weekend as my older daughter's wedding. So I was gone for the weekend.
Well, when did you first start calling the police on them? She's telling me that you called on the police on them numerous times. You said I heard from you once, but
well over a year after they moved in.
Okay. But how many times did you do this?
How many times have I called the police?
Yeah, before the order. I mean, since the order, that's
the order. You asked me this 2 weeks ago, and I said about 4 times. But I was thinking about it, and I was thinking maybe there was twice that I called because of things that were happening with the kids. So she might be, so maybe 6 times. That's about it. Again, I didn't even bother to call the police until I had video.
So you had, there's an observer there on your behalf. Did you wish to have that individual testify, or are they just here watching?
That is, Your Honor, she is my sponsor, and if she wants to testify, she's my sponsor, so she's my support.
Okay, and she doesn't have to testify if she doesn't want to. I only want to know if people who are on the ground out there watching things. You know, I appreciate, and I'm sure you do too, that she's here to support you, but
absolutely.
she doesn't need to. I just want to make sure that everything you need to know, everything you need to have, all witnesses and testimony you want to be heard from. I just want to make sure I want to hear from them.
Okay, I get. She does.
She's got her hand in the air.
Yeah.
Ma'am, could you, you said you raise your hand. You swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor, I do. Thank you.
You can put your hand down.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
She calls me every day because that's a part of our relationship, is me being her sponsor. And she is coming up on 11 months sober, so she's not sitting there drinking like it is stated in the other paper. So I know she's not doing that. And I do get to see the growth that she has in her. And during times that she's been on the phone with me, I have heard the kids hollering at her. And there was one time—
I've seen the video. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to convince me of that. I've seen that.
Okay. There was one time that I did hear one of the kids say, "I'm gonna kill you." And I told her, "You need to get off the phone with me right now and call 911. And that's what I have to say, Your Honor. Thank you. And,
Sure. Thank you for being here, ma'am.
This is the harassment. She calls me when there's harassment going on, and like the dog poop being put on her door, things like that. And the bike being taken up the stairs, and I've seen the video of the child open the door just a hair. So it is getting worse continually. And there's still things that are going on after the temporary order was put in place. So thank you for letting me share.
Okay. And then Ms. Ward, you had a witness there that you wished me to hear from also, or no?
Yes. Did you want to?
Yeah, that person could unmute. And then come on the camera.
Hello?
Hi there. What's your name, sir?
Brian Walker.
And I'll hear from you. What's your, what do you wish to tell me about all this?
Yes.
Are you in the same apartment as Ms. Ward there, just right now? Just
Yes, I am.
Okay, you could have been on the same computer is my only point, but go ahead, I'll hear from you.
Yes, I don't live with this residence. I'm the boyfriend. Almost like 11 months.
And I've seen you submit a written statement, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I read that, but go ahead. If there's anything you want to add to that, you can.
And it's a lot of more kids outside beside her kids.
Right.
And most time I'm over here 3 times out of the week, 4 times out of the week, and Mrs. Ward haven't harassed her.
All right. So, Ms. Ward, or I guess who am I going to ask first? I guess Ms. Thorne, I'll talk to you.
Okay.
Is the apartment manager involved in this? Does anybody know anything from the management of the building?
Yes. Well, I've spoken to the apartment manager a couple of times. Like I stated
And what do they
before,
say about all this?
The apartment manager did instruct me to get a anti-harassment order and to let her know, and I did give her the temporary order, and also she asked me to let her know when things are happening. And here at the apartment complex, we have a part of lease agreement that you are responsible for your kids, and also you're responsible for the kids that come over to your house and hang out with your kids to stop that behavior. So I've given all that information to Kat Davis, the property manager, and she doesn't call me and tell me, oh, I've written this or that or whatever. I don't know. I just give her the information. The second time we had problems, like I said, we tried to arrange a sit down with Mrs. Ward just to make a peace, and there was no response from her about that. So I've even tried to include the apartment management. I do not know what's going on as far as what's going on with Ms. Ward in the apartment complex.
Well, here's where I'm at, ma'am, and I'm going to speak to you both now. I'm kind of limited on what these orders can do. And it's appeared to me there, Ms. Thorne, you've got a number of kids who live in that apartment who aren't the greatest in terms of how they conduct themselves. And, some of the things that I've seen in video or heard from Ms. Thorne's kid, or the one that I'm a child, I should say child, maybe I shouldn't say a kid, is not the best. But, I can't enter an order that's all of a sudden magically going to make those kids behave. And some of these kids, some of the worst ones are the ones that have no relation to Ms. Ward at all. I can't make any sort of, based on the evidence presented, I'm not going to make a finding that Ms. Ward herself has conducted any harassment. And so, and again, there is a mechanism to get orders against kids, but that's got to be in Superior Court, I believe. I can't do that here. And so that's a long way of me saying that I'm not going to enter the orders. Your request is going to be denied, and I'm not going to enter an order. And this case will be dismissed without prejudice as of today. And having said that, honestly, I don't know how this can be fixed. I can't, it's not uncommon to have people come in front of me who are neighbors who can't get along. And I say to both of them, I'm going to say, I can't give either of you good neighbors. You both have complaints about each other, and that's terribly unfortunate, but you both still got to live there. And so maybe you could make an effort to Ms. Ward, you could talk to your kids, and maybe they can conduct themselves in a manner that won't aggravate Ms. Thorne. And again, I don't even know who these other kids are, the worst ones, the one who is throwing rocks. I have no idea who that kid is, but I know your kids do, Ms. Ward, and maybe you could work with their parents just to, because again, like I'll go back to what I said before, it's a vicious circle that when they do, they're going to do something, Ms. Thorne's going to want to video them. The more they video them, they're going to do more stuff. So maybe everyone can just kind of back away and leave everybody alone, or at least make an effort. You don't have to, and frankly, you want my frank opinion, sometimes I think it's kind of sport for some of these kids. Again, maybe not your kids, Ms. Ward, but they kind of enjoy it. They go out there intentionally seeking to aggravate Ms. Thorne, which is not a great look for any kid out there. So, but again, there are just some things I can do and some things I can't. And entering an order against Ms. Ward, which against the evidence doesn't support, and even if I did, that wouldn't solve the problem. You still got a bunch of kids out there who are misbehaving. And I don't know whether you've had any contact with any of their parents, Ms. Thorne, but and I don't know whether that would do any good. But I think also that, you know, I think maybe the management at the apartment complex could maybe do a little bit better job to keep things in line also. But for today, your request is going to be denied, and that'll conclude the case here today. And again,
Thank you,
please
Your
make an
Honor.
effort to get along. You both have to live there. I know your both lives would be better if you didn't have to deal with all of this. And so that'll be it for today.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.